Okay, this video is for Overcastle 28. The first thing you want to check out is search Kazuyoshi Miura. He's 56 years old. He's a Japanese professional player, and he's absolutely filthy, right? So if you're 25 right now, you subtract that from 56 years old, that means you got close to 30 years to keep on improving. I'm 10 years out from playing D1 college soccer. Not that that means anything, but I'm 10 times a better player than I was in college because you never stop learning, right? You got to get a little bit better every day. You should check out, or maybe you could check out Atomic Habits by James Clear. I mean, this book has completely changed my life because, right, you get a little bit better every day. That's 365 days of getting better a year, right? Even if you got better for a minute, even if you spent 1 minute juggling, you're getting 1 minute better. You'll completely change your abilities. And check out Brian Johnson. Search Blueprint, or just search Blueprint plus Brian Johnson. He's 46 years old, and his blood profile and his son's blood profile, who's 18 years old, you can't tell the difference between them because his training regimen has gotten better over time to where he's actually rejuvenating, right? So for every year he ages, his diet and his training routine are so crazy that he ages 0.7 years for every year of aging, right? So he slowed his aging down so much, and his diet is so clean and so pure that he's actually growing younger, I believe, right? He won the Olympics. He won the epigenetics Olympics, which means compared to thousands of other people, he's living younger than anyone else. And he applies some simple training principles. And this will help with mental health too, because, right, like, man, who do you have to speak to know if you've had a good day or a bad day? Yourself, right? That's a Tony Robbins quote. So, you are a member of a grid in a network, right? You know how many different people from school, from your work, from your family. So what you do is extremely important, right? Every decision matters. The better that you get, right, you're gonna rise all the ships around you. The rising tide rises all ships. So it really matters that you not give up and that you keep on, right, failing. The master has failed more times than the beginner has tried. Even if you're 25, it may not appear to you, and you may not realize how much better you were from 24, but it's like the tiny improvements can create huge returns, right? So just keep on cracking away. Keep on, even with 1 minute a day, you can completely change your life. Like the most powerful lessons I've learned through soccer have happened within the past 6 months of my life, right? If I were to give up on soccer a year ago, I wouldn't be where I was today, because it's like, okay, if you want to change your mood, they say, if your mind's not working, change your body. Search how to make an RMT rope. Just this one thing has completely changed my training. It's completely changed. It helped me rehab a hip flexor injury. It's helping me rehab a back injury because I tried to friggin' max out 400 plus pounds on the deadlift, right? So search how to make an RMT rope. Using an RMT rope will improve your juggling, which will improve your shooting and your passing as well as dribbling. And this is something that no one's talking about. So it's like for $10, you can basically invest in a portable gym that you can bring with you everywhere around the world, and it'll completely elevate your training. It's something no one's talking about, at least not any soccer players that I see, or soccer trainers or coaches. No one's talking about it. You gotta learn. The inventor of the RMT rope, his name is David Weck. He says, if you can only learn one pattern, one movement pattern. With the RMT rope, you gotta learn the alternating underhand sneak. It took me 3 days to learn, but you won't regret it, right? Just watch, you gotta find a tutorial online, turn off the audio, put on relaxing music, and just watch someone do the alternating underhand sneak over and over and over, right? Because you gotta get your mind in a very relaxed state, and that's gonna help you with rapid learning. Since it's a visual, right? Since it's you almost have to unlock your inner genius by getting into a state of deep relaxation, because that's what's going to allow you to learn it. If you're tense or you're not in a relaxed mood, it's going to be more, that's going to make it more difficult for you to learn it. So check that out. And man, that, I've been giving you enough tools. I mean, if you want one more tool that's going to help elevate your training, if you're not using a kick trainer, right? Just a ball and a rope, right? AC Milan, Ajax, Sevilla, all these clubs encourage their youth players to use kick trainers because it helps them rapidly develop their first touch and their passing and their shooting abilities. So even if you're 25, if you can make the training that you do every day hyper efficient, hyper effective, you're going to waste time. You're going to save time that you're spending doing things that are energy draining. You want to start to shift those into things that boost your energy and elevate your training. So using a kick trainer could be something that's for you. And I only started using it in my last year of college, right? You have these multi-million-dollar clubs. I wish someone would have put a kick trainer in my hands at a young age. It could have elevated my training. The last thing I'll suggest, right? Because this is not like I know, I'm suggesting these things so that you want to be curious, right? None of what I'm saying is true until you test it out. So this is not because I know this to be fact. This is just because I failed so many times, right? I've been cut from my college. I got recruited. I was a walk-on recruit to Duquesne University, and at the end of preseason, I got cut from the team. Had to walk on to University of Rhode Island, but all the learning has come after extreme failure. So hopefully this could be something. Some of these resources could be tools to improve the quality of your training and going to change the trajectory of the quality of your training. Check out Andrew Huberman, Tim Ferriss, Physical Performance. It's 2.5 hours of the most insightful thoughts on coming up with your own training routine, right? Andrew Huberman says he doesn't have time to train like a full-time athlete, so in a given work week, he's squeezing the most out of his days in very tight time windows. He's optimizing for endurance, speed, VO2 max, and heat and cold exposure. Heat and cold exposure because it improves all the other training days. It's almost like rapid recovery. So, just listening to this podcast will help you formulate a great plan that can take you into old age, because it's super efficient, it's super effective, and it's, again, something that I wish I knew years ago. I just heard this podcast 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it completely changed my life, right? So you got to start rapidly testing new training modalities, new diets, right? You got to just keep on testing new shit every day. And that's how you're going to elevate your training, right? Like Muhammad Ali, he would write to world-class coaches and trainers and say, hey, my name is Muhammad Ali. I want to be the best boxer in the world. Can I come train with you? Or can I come meet you? Because I heard you were excellent, heard you were a world-class trainer. So you got to be humble. You got to be curious. You got to be brave enough to get rejected. Anyone who you're playing against or with who's got an excellent touch or who's got excellent physique or athleticism or power or anything, you got to learn from them. You got to be bold enough to say, hey, I noticed you did that move you did was crazy, or I noticed you ran on game. What's your training routine look like, right? You got to ask questions and be brave enough to get turned down. It's like Usually the best players will share everything they have with you if you're genuine and curious with your questions. I drove 16 hours to train with Louis Simmons in his invite-only gym in Ohio. He took one look at me and he said, "What the hell do you want?" And I said, "I want to run faster and jump higher." Right? This is a guy who he doesn't even charge people to train at his gym because he doesn't want to train with dickheads. He only wants to train with people who are serious about training and not people who are entitled and not anyone who can buy his time or energy. So when I gave him that answer, he said, "All right, give me half an hour." And then it was like the best 3 hours of strength training I've ever done in my life. So, right, you gotta seek out. There's a quote that goes, "There's diamonds in your backyard," right? So there could be former U.S. gold, silver, and bronze medalists in either sprinting or Tai Chi or kickboxing or Muay Thai, right? You gotta, whatever is the closest town or city by you, you gotta be a researcher, right? You could be passing by a gym with a sauna every day. You could be passing by a Pilates studio. Cristiano, he does Pilates, right? He's got pictures of his reformer online. You gotta just look outside the box at different fields, right? Like you start training Muay Thai, you start training even yoga, right? There's modalities that you can learn from different fields that you could start to incorporate into your soccer training. Taekwondo, right? There's a lot of different movement disciplines that you could learn from that could elevate your training. Right? You could take a soccer vacation. You could bring a ball everywhere you go and just get thousands and thousands of touches effortlessly. Right? Don't worry about playing. Don't bum yourself out about playing. You got to change the conversation to, am I getting a little bit better every day? And you got to start making different mistakes. So what if you didn't make whatever team, right? Like I would literally destroy the 25-year-old version of myself because you got to keep on learning. You got to make new mistakes and you got to be curious, right? If you're not failing, you're not learning. So you have to dance between failure and micro successes, right? Micro failures and successes while also being patient so that you can enjoy the ride. So I know I threw a lot at you, but it's, right, it almost gets me excited to read your question because I was in your shoes. So test out some of these ideas. Whatever one resonates with you the most, take immediate action and see if you can, if it don't work for you, try something else. And the last thing I'll leave you with, How to Breathe by Dr. Ranich. This is something I learned within the past 6 to 8 months, completely changed my life. So I hope some of these ideas help and reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.